Breaking news, the Battle of Midway is over. While the death toll has yet to be tallied, Air Force sources claim that the result of the battle was a resounding victory for the U.S. Navy. Now, we go to me in the field. Me, how does it look out there today? More fantastic news. The Battle of Midway was, in fact, not a conflict of the land, but a conflict of the air and sea. How about that? Give me a second. I'm getting numbers. And there they are. Yes, I would call that a victory, all right. Also, it seems I am projecting my thoughts onto the screen. More on that at 11. Among the Japanese fighters lost are most of the surviving veterans of the December 7th attack on Pearl Harbor. It seems that the debt has, at least in part, been repaid. For right now, though, I've just been passed the Air Force's after-action report. It says here that the battle began on June 4th and took place about 1,300 miles from the Hawaiian island of Oahu, near the Midway Atoll. The American attack on the Japanese carriers and the surrounding vessels came in two waves.
The first wave flew in and was promptly eradicated by massive amounts of anti-aircraft fire without hitting a single target. The second wave, which came hours later, was unintentional, but also turned out to have been the saving grace of our troops over the ocean.
The second wave was led by Captain Wade McCluskey. It came to the battle after long hours of disorientation over the open ocean, and, in a happy twist of fate, arrived just as all three of the Japanese carriers were reloading their guns and refueling their fighters. Within the hour, carriers Akagi, Soryu, and Kaga were well on their way to sinking. By the next day, the fourth and final Japanese carrier, the Hiryu, joined them. The carrier group is now entirely carrierless. Sources say that with the right equipment and know-how, the successful defense of the Midway Atoll could become the great turning point of the war in the Pacific. What's more, those in the know are saying that the Japanese have completely run out of veteran pilots and, more importantly, aircraft carriers. Isn't that something? The general consensus seems to be that we as a country have matched and surpassed Japan's Navy. What this amounts to in the short term is the end of Japanese capability to invade even more Allied lands, and perhaps the end of Japan's immediate naval combat abilities entirely. In the long term, this marks Japan's first decisive defeat in several decades. Unfortunately, not everything has come up roses. The aircraft carrier USS Yorktown was torpedoed during a battle against a large group of Nakajima Kate fighters and began to tilt. During the salvage operation, she was struck once more by a stalking submarine. At about 7 a.m. Midway time, she foundered and plunged to the bottom of the ocean, taking with her several crewmen. Her destroyer escorts were thankfully left unharmed by the torpedoes. Stay tuned for more information.